So we want to give you some tips and tricks to give your overall stage look everything it needs to be its best. So one of the things we want you to be thinking about when you're in any pose that you're facing the front is, how does your waistline look? There's a couple different options in terms of what's going to look best, and it's going to depend on your body type. So one of the things that you can do is you can pull long and pull the rib cage up high. If you're able to do that and it makes the waist look smaller, then that might be more ideal for you. Most people are going to look better if they use their intercostals and inner oblique muscles to pull this waistline in nice and tight. So you can see Angela doing it here. So pull up through the rib cage and see how big and wide her rib cage gets. And then she's going to take that, pull it in nice and tight. Some of the different ways that you can help yourself get into this is think about when you laugh. When you laugh or when you breathe out, you can actually exhale your air as you're doing it so that you're bringing the lungs down and the rib cage in. If you think you cannot do this, you're wrong. It really is a muscle control issue. So it, just like anything else you do in the gym, this is something that takes practice. You can actually think about pulling everything and pulling that belly button to low back. One other thing you can think about is, especially when ladies are posing in their off season and they're a little bit worried about maybe the tummy isn't as tight as they want it to be, they feel like they need to vacuum. So what they'll do is they'll pull the tummy and they'll pull the tummy up and out and pull underneath the ribs and barrel the rib cage out really big. What's gonna happen is you're gonna create some muscle memory. So when you go on stage and you're nice and lean and the tummy's nice and tight, you don't need to do that anymore. You're gonna have that habit of doing that, and it's not gonna look as nice and tight through the waistline. So practice it the way you're gonna do it on stage, which is pulling everything in nice and tight.
All right, so some more tips and tricks for you guys. Yvette's gonna be demonstrating multiple things today. First, we're gonna start off when you are in line next to go on stage. You wanna be ready to go. You wanna be in your model pose. If the judges can see you, if you can see the judges, they can see you. So you wanna make sure that you're ready to go. You're in your model pose, your angles are good, ready to go. So Yvette's gonna demonstrate coming from the side into pose. And then you also want to make sure, they're going to tell you which side that you're going to go on from the diagonal. So for example, Yvette's going to go to the right hand side. You want to practice both sides because you want to make sure that you have the best angles to the judges. Always, always, always. They can always see you. Even if you feel like they can't, they can see you. So just make sure that you're always practicing that, ready to go, and you'll do well.
So more tips and tricks. We're going to talk about when you have to walk forward and back on the stage. Most of the time this is only going to happen in the overall comparison, but in some shows they actually will have groups do this if they feel that the judging is so close, they're looking for the edge that one person has over the other. So you really want to be prepared to do this. So at this point, the ladies are already on the line. They've already taken their model pose because we're demonstrating only the walk. The judge is going to tell them, ladies, turn to the back. Once they get to their back pose, they're going to say, walk to the line or walk to the curtain and hold your pose. There'll be either a line on the stage or there's going to be a curtain far enough that they can actually watch you walk. Notice when they're walking, they're going to keep their glutes lifted. They're going to keep their lower backs arched the entire time. This is really, really important. One of the things you want to watch out for is you don't want to have the bouncing up and down. The glutes are going to be lifted and kept very even. I'm going to have them do it again and after this and show you how not to do it. So ladies, turn to the front and walk to the front line. You'll notice a lot of times that the pace will be much faster when they're walking to the front. That's because when they're walking to the back, they're careful not to stomp or make the glutes jiggle and to keep those glutes lifted, whereas from the front, that's not a worry. You can just give your best, fiercest walk forward. One of the things that a lot of ladies like to do, if you feel comfortable doing it, is crossing the feet over when you're coming from the front. So ladies, turn to the back. And I'm going to have Yvette demonstrate if she were to allow the glutes to go back and forth versus Angela's going to keep the glutes lifted. And and you can see the difference. So we're gonna turn to the back, the front, and walk to the front. Thank you, ladies.
More tips and tricks. Let's talk about call-outs. It's gonna happen twice. You're gonna get called out off the diagonal. Know your number. You can glance down if you're not sure, and always be sure to flag yourself. So the head judge is gonna call your number when they want you to come out for comparison. In this case, we're using names. Angela, Jessica. Now once they've taken a look and they're comparing you, they're also gonna wanna maybe move you guys around. Again, know your number, always flag yourself. Angela, switch with Jessica. Always try to cross in front, but always be courteous to the other person as well. Once you're in line for comparisons, they're gonna take a look at you. You're gonna wanna go through your entire routine. You're just waiting for the judges to cue you. Let's see what that looks like. Ladies, face the back. Ladies, walk to the back line and hold it when you get there. Ladies, face the front. As you can see, they're going through all of their routine just at the cueing of the judges.
I'm Coach J.B. DeBernard.
I'm Coach Yvette Montero.
I'm Coach Jessica Quillian. And I'm Coach Angela Barbosa.
And this is Tips and Tricks.